Tennis, like most modern sports, started in Europe and has spread to become a global sport enjoyed by millions. There are many tournaments available to the professional tennis player, though winning more than one of the four major tennis tournaments held each year is considered a priority to be among the elite players of the game's history. The major tennis tournaments are the Australian Open, Wimbledon, the French Open, and the US Open. Of the four, Wimbledon, with an average of 10 million viewers, is generally considered to be the most coveted of them all. Althea Gibson was the first black player, male or female, to win a major. She was born on August 25, 1927, to parents who were sharecroppers and grew up in South Carolina. Like most African Americans living in the South, her family would move to the North following the Great Depression and settle in Harlem. Althea wasn't a fan of the game at first, viewing it as a sport for weaklings, and even got a reputation as a rebel, becoming a street fighter in her hood. Somehow she came to enjoy the game after winning a number of amateur competitions.
I didn't say 1 or 2 hours a day. 8 hours on the tennis court. And just taking a break to have a snack and to relax and continue.
In 1920, as many of the tournaments were played at white-only clubs, she would struggle for a while to become a professional. After her cause got the backing of a number of prominent white players, she eventually joined the professional tennis circuit.
I'm sure that there was prejudice, but I suppose I ignored it because I was so intense in my tennis, playing the game of tennis, that I didn't even think about it. And then maybe one thing that might have saved me was that in those years, I was antisocial. I didn't give a hoot about going to parties and cocktail affairs and hanging out with the other tennis groups and the other tennis players. After I finished my match, I went home, relaxed, had my supper, and discussed with my coach what had to be done the next day, and that was it. So it didn't bother me.
Althea would prove her backers correct when she won her first tournament the following year in Jamaica. Although she was now accepted, it remained a challenge to continue playing, as tennis had not been completely commercialized. So Althea, despite her considerable winnings, also had to rely on a lot of goodwill coming her way, whether it was from family, friends, or exhibitions. Her breakout year finally came in 1956 when she won the French Open, her first of 5 Grand Slam events that she would eventually win. Her next victories would come with her 1957 Wimbledon and US Open titles, which she would successfully defend the following year in 1958, after which she would retire. When the Open era started and prize money became more lucrative, Althea made a short-lived comeback, but by then was too seasoned to compete. She would also try to become a singer, run for public office, and become a professional golfer, becoming the first African American on the LPGA Tour. But each attempt was met with limited success, if any. Her final years must have been disappointing for her fans though. Her health and financial troubles would manifest. But once again, her tennis associates, in particular, her former doubles partner Angela Buxton, would rally behind her. After calls for charity, she would raise enough money to restore Althea's finances for the better. The health problems remained though. In age 76, on 28 September 2003, she passed away.
She paved the way for the African Americans and a lot of the minorities to come in and play tennis and to be able to do well. So she was there from the beginning. She was a forerunner.